Good evening, race fans, and welcome back here with Freaky Fast broadcasting here at South Boston Speedway. Of course, this broadcast is brought to you first by Vermont Sim Racing. Vermont is home to some of the best professional drivers in the world. They practice in simulators to hone their skills, prepare their cars, and get familiar with new tracks. Now, Vermont Sim Racer brings these same high-powered simulators to you in a four-seat sim racing venue. Even if you already have your own sim, it's nice to race friends head-to-head in the same room. Maybe friends that always ask to drive your sim, now you can drive door to door. Don't forget to visit Vermont Sim Racer and also EPI. Elite Performance Industries, of course, is brought to you. EPI is home for your iRacing setup, schemes, apparel, and driver development. Visit raceepi.com today for everything you need to take your sim racing career to the next level. I am Carl Pooler up in the booth with Zach Hall and, of course, Robert Moyer Jr. broadcasting here for the Maple Ridge Racing Series. Zach, I don't know about you, but I've never called South Boston. I don't think I've raced here maybe once. This is a really unique and interesting track. As you see, we're all gridded up here. It's only 0.4 of a mile roughly, and as you see, that's no illusion. That start-finish line is actually more towards the end of the front straightaway rather than the beginning. So, Zach, thoughts on this unique track?
Yeah, very unique track here, and one that super late models tend to really compete well around. And another big factor, you talked about the finish line move down farther here as they're gridded up, getting ready to pull off the grid and start tonight's 125 lap race. You also got the wall there, that inside wall there, that concrete wall, very easy and sticks out very far. And if you get an incident on the first straightaway, it's very easy to end up in that. Luckily, there you're going to see it opens up a little bit as they go into that corner with that apron. But I tell you what, we're going to see guys on that apron using really all bits of this track. It's going to be fun to watch tonight here. South Boston, a very good track out here for a short track race.
Very good and very quick. We were running sub 15-second laps there in practice as we see them all ready to go here. These guys have been a little on the edge from what I've seen in practice. These cars are a little loose. It's really short, tight diameter corners, but it also seems a little bumpy. So these drivers are going to have their hands full all night long tonight. As you said, 125 laps, but they are going to tick by in a flash as we see just these cars ready to go. Lights are off on the pace car, and of course we are getting ready to go racing here on Wednesday night. So fun to have you all here watching tonight. Pace car gets off the track into pit lane, and here we are. Green flag is out. Ronald Cole, who took the pole position inside of Peyton Hill, launches great, but Peyton Hill hard on his quarter panel there in the rear, and he's not letting them go going into three, but Peyton Hill washes up and gets loose already around. He's going to get collected up in the wall, but we seem to still stay green. All the rest of the cars seem to have gotten through nice and easy, but here's the battle for second now for the 88 of Hoggett, trying to defend from the 29 of Kurt Batty.
Look at this, nice staying green and clean here to start off this race. And yeah, that was tough for Peyton Hill from the top side there to drop back. But luckily for his sake, not too hard of a hit for him. Looks like he'll be able to stay somewhat on pace. But Ronald Cole breaking that early lead here, on pole position for him. Normally we look back to this 41 of Mario Eckerlani here to really be the driver that has been putting it on pole each and every race, has really shown qualifying pace at every single track. But here tonight, having to start a little farther back from that fifth position, got an early one from Peyton Hill's mistake up to fourth here. But we'll see what Eckerlani can do as, he's coming off some big momentum with 5 flags in his back pocket.
And he's coming off that double win, like you said, Zach, coming off of 5 flags last week. And we're used to seeing him have speed, but he looked to struggle a little bit in practice. It wasn't showing that dominating factor we usually see from that 41 machine, but he's also not extremely slow, as you see him comfortably there in 4th position. But Alex Marinelli, 54, had a rough week last week, just really had the car struggle to stay straight coming out of the corner, but he looks like he's on a rail today. He's doing really well, and followed by him is the 5 of John Piet. John Piet there in 7th position, qualified 8th. So a lot of guys benefiting from that spin by Peyton Hill earlier in the session.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of people benefiting, and you're going to have to look behind even the 26 of Frank Barber there in that 26 machine there in 8th. Back to the 48 of Peyton Hill there. He's back to ninth, 5.1 seconds back. That's really not too bad in the grand scheme of things. And even looking at his race car, it's actually very clean. Does have a little bit of right side damage to it, but not too bad. So should be able to run decent lap times. And even looking at his pace compared to our leader, only about a tenth slower too. So he is hanging on well with a car that had an early mistake. And then back here, you got the 19 Justin Hamlin, major damage on the nose of this car as he's dropped back from, or he's actually gained a spot from his 11th starting position, but unfortunately he's got that nose damage. And we'll have to see. I wonder who else is a culprit of who's got that rear end damage. You look back even farther, Johnny Hurst back in 11th, he's got major damage on the nose also, back in this 11th position. And then you'd have to go another 2 seconds back all the way to the 4 of Ben Mashburn. And it looks like he's got a pretty clean race car, but the leaders are closing in very quickly here, about 13 seconds behind the leader. And I tell you what, he is within a straightaway of this four machine.
Oh, definitely, and he is closing in quickly, roughly its 10th or so every corner, so already gaining ground on these lapped cars. And Ronald Cole with a really large gap right now, roughly 1.3 seconds to the second place car as he gets around, or starts to try and get around some of this lapped traffic. So already these guys causing an issue as there's a spin right in front of our leader, and that will bring the caution here out on lap 14 as we take away to the 15th lap. And I think the biggest benefactor of that would be the 48 of Peyton Hill. With that early spin, that helps the pack get all condensed back together, and he can start chipping away at some of those positions, getting back up to the front because we know he has the speed.
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate caution there. Looks like caution there for George Fonseca in the 12 machine, as he had some connection issues at the beginning of this race, couldn't get in time, gets out there a little bit later, runs his first lap on the racetrack, and then spins right in front of our leaders, and I think he'll bring it behind the wall after that. So early into the night for Fonseca after only one lap and a miscue on the start there for his connection. That's going to bring an early ending to that green flag run there. And tell you, Ronald Cole was looking very strong there to start it off. This guy, he's been on somewhat of a roll also, Carl. You know, we've talked about Kalani. Yeah, he's got the 2 wins in his back pocket the last few weeks. But this 9 machine, he very well could have had at least one of those.
Oh, definitely, and he's really been a model of consistency the past 3 or 4 weeks. So you and I have talked to him in the post race a couple of times, and he is. You can tell he's disappointed from second place, but he also knows there's not much to be disappointed at because there's a lot of talent in this field, a lot of speed, and being able to say you get on that podium every week is something really to toot your own horn. And I think Ronald Cole is a really good, consistent driver and really knows how to handle this car.
He really does seem to have a really good handle on it here. It looks like we're going to get double file back up here to get us some green flag action back popping off here at the South Boston Speedway. Got them lights turned off on the pace car. Cole's going to have the bottom lane. Batty up to second. Got to say, great job for him. 4th up to second in the early going. Let's see how they do on this restart here, Carl.
Oh, definitely. As we go over and we see there in the outside second lane, the 41 of Ercolani is ready to go, but the pace car is off. Ronald Cole with a great launch off the inside of the corner. He's actually going to clear the 29 of Batty going to turn 1, and the 41 is going to be stuck on the outside of the 81, but he's going to clear him, taking that 3rd position as there's really close a moment there between Jonathan Dickerman and the 54 of Marinelli, but they are still nearly door to door, and John Piet right behind him in that red 5 machine. Looking hard. These guys are racing really hard mid-pack here, so it looks like we are going to single foul out just a little bit. It is, we see there that the 13 of Dickerman washes up a little bit, and Marinelli could not take position, but the 5 of John Piet right behind him. This is really still single file, but these guys are racing really hard as we continue on. Ronald Cole and the top 3 have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field, but everyone else right on top of each other.
Yeah, the whole field's still very well right in contention with each other. You know, this track, you know, watching it, very aggressive on the entry. You know, this is still a very high bank short track for really a 0.4 of a mile. You know, this is pretty aggressive for banking, I'd say, for a style short track like this, and it shows these guys can carry a lot of speed right up on that bottom, shoot up out of those corners onto that front straightaway, and that's where the traction zones come into it. And I'm gonna be interested to see if we can see some multi-groove action come here. Maybe see some guys start to dip that tire below that curb to try to help that turn of that race car. But right now, it's been pretty much everybody looking to put that left front tire right on top of the yellow curb and try to navigate around. But our top three starting to break away, and they're somewhat on top of each other. You know, Cole is starting to break away up front. This caution here has brought Batty into the picture, and along with Ekerlani. So right here, we got a three-way battle for this lead here, 26 laps into this thing.
And you can see the 29 of Kurt Batty taking different angles on entry. He's really attacking the entry of 1 and 3, trying to really keep momentum off of 2 and 4 as we see him get into 1 really hard again. But the 9 kind of pulls away on exit. So it looks like between the two ends, they're even, but Batty's a little bit better on entry, but Cole is better on the exit. So that's that kind of trade-off you have to do on some of these short tracks. Do you want to be really good and aggressive and make those passes on the corner entry, or do you want to have that momentum and make sure you can hold that guy behind him, and with that momentum coming off of corner exit as we see him right on board with the 29. We see his just a little bit difference. He tries to dip down on that yellow curb, as you were saying, Zach. He's already trying to get down there on corner exit, and they are already painting that line really black. So this track already moving lanes and drivers trying to find grip.
Yeah, you can see he dips that left side tire there on the late exit of the corner on top of that curb. You know, they stay off of it, then they get on it right on the late exit there to really get that sharp apex and straight run up off of these corners to carry as much speed. But Cole's been doing a good job. He's had a lot of pressure on him here. Batty, like you said, he's really been into the entry much deeper than the 9, but the 9 has been able to make the exits work. But this time Batty has a look for a nose, doesn't think wise that time, so he backs out of it, and he says, you know what, we're going to wait another time to try to size him back up. But again, any little movement like that, you're making that driver ahead of you look in the mirror. Cole definitely having to size up these guys as Batty is having the run of his season so far.
Batty is doing great right now in that second position, but stalking those two cars is the 41 of Ercolani. He's not letting him get out of sight, but he's not quite attacking either. Knowing him, he's actually, from what I've seen, a really strategic driver. He kind of lets his stuff come to him, doesn't try to push it too hard in the beginning, and now you see him in the top 3 and just kind of waiting for his moment to pounce. Maybe Batty will take an aggressive dive into the inside corner, but right now it's hard to say with the 88 of Brad Hoggett there in 4th position. I guess the leader of this next pack with the 13 of Jonathan Dickerman right behind him. And these guys are in a cluster, just trying to get back to the lead pack, being only a couple seconds off. Probably looking for a caution, but we look further on back to 6th at the 54 of Alex Marinelli, John Piette. Peyton Hill, we thought that caution would really help him, and it was not what he wanted. It looks like he's really struggled trying to get through some of this track as we see Marinelli get really high up the track. Peyton Hill trying to take the outside of John Piette, but can't quite make it stick. Marinelli sticking to that outside line. It looks like he's just going to let these guys go, maybe not fight too hard, because he knows these guys have the speed, and the 48 definitely wants to get back up to the front.
Great moves there by Peyton Hill to get that done there, as now Marinelli going to drop back in position. Lost 2 there, 1 to John Piette in the 5 and 1 to the 48 of Peyton Hill, now up to the 7th position for 6th and 7th of that 5 and that 48. But yeah, a little group of 4 here, back all the way to Frank Barberera in that 26 behind Marinelli. That'll be about 5 seconds behind our leader. Then you'd have to look another 3 seconds back to the next group of Johnny Hurst and Ben Mashburn back here at 10th and 11th. They're about 8 seconds off our leader. And both those, looks like Johnny Hurst still dealing with that nose damage that they're worked on, but Ben Mashburn going to look here to take this pass here and move up another slot and maybe move up into the top 10. Here is Ben Mashburn in the 4 machine from 13th to 10th now for the 4. Great move by him to get by Johnny Hurst as he's able to move himself on up. As the last car on the lead lap, that would go to the 19 of Justin Hamlin, about another 2 seconds behind this group. He's about 4 seconds ahead of our leader here, Carl. So, you know, not in too big of a rush here, but he's definitely going to see those guys coming up very quickly. Is running a 15:53 to our leader's 15:11. So about 4/10 of a second difference. They should be there within 10 to 15 laps.
Oh, definitely. And with the pace they are running, Kurt Batty really lighting up the bumper of Ronald Cole there going into turn 3. I think there might have been a little bit of contact, but nothing too serious. These guys racing really hard, racing clean. And like we said, the 41 of Ercolani just lurking there in the background, waiting for one of these drivers to make a mistake. And Kurt Batty is feeling the pressure. We are on already lap 45 of this run here. Out of 125 laps, and like you were saying, Zach, taking laps off at, oh, we see Ronald Cole get to the wall just a little bit, allowing the 29 and the 41 to get around him for the lead. That is just a huge mistake for Ronald Cole as he loses the lead to Kurt Batty with the 41 right behind the 29.
Oh man, big moments there for sure. The leader dropping back to third, and yeah, his tires seem to be shot here as these two up front look to start to pull away. Ekrolani had a thought about it there as we ride on board with him here, as Batty going to have the first moments of clean air for him in that 29 machine. We'll see what he can produce with this here. But Ekrolani definitely, like you said, he was the one kind of stalking the two, riding right behind him. And, if something was to happen with these three, Hoggett and Dickerman will be right into it. So, Brad and Jonathan cannot give up here. They're right here in 4th and 5th, not too far behind, only 2 seconds back.
Well, and that little incident with the outside wall though really let that second group kind of catch up and gain ground on this lead pack here. In the 9 just filing in right now, but Brad Hoggett looking at that saying, ooh, I see that 3rd place position. But definitely as these guys roll further and further along, tires are going to be an issue. They have been wearing just a little bit with as hard on the brakes as they are in corner entering. We definitely saw earlier the 9 and the the 29 really attacked the corners, but Brad Hoggett's just cruising around here in 4th place, but our leaders have caught some lap traffic. That 19 of Justin Hamlin causing an issue for our leaders, having the actually really separating the 41 and the 29 here just a little bit ago, and everyone else is going to have to deal with it as Brad Hoggett goes and takes an inside move on them, followed by Jonathan Dickerman.
Yeah, able to get past the lap traffic there of Hamlin, who's got major damage on the nose. And I've been watching lap times here. We've gotten to a pretty long run now. Batty's starting to open up the gap as Ekrolani's had a few mistakes the last few laps. Batty really with a great lap there, able to drop himself down to a 15.176. The other driver I've really been watching is Peyton Hill back here in the 6th position. He was able to get around John Piet in the 5 not too long ago, and he's been clicking off some of the quickest laps of this race. Remember, had that major moment after starting 2nd in this race. If he was to get a caution later in this race to get him up some track position, he has got some very good long run pace. We'll see what this 48 can do. Right now, about 4 seconds behind our leader. Going to need some help probably.
Just a little bit of help, but definitely has the speed to take the lead if it came to him. But with on lap 56, we have about 70 laps to go here. We got to give a shout out to ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, ambient environmental effects, and nearby explosions. It moves a physical mass instead of only air, and it provides instant, accurate, powerful base response. And better yet, it's perfectly all in sync with every game, no additional software required. ButtKicker, feel what you've been missing. Go check out their website. Discount code FreakyFast20 for 20% off your entire order up there. So tell them we sent you. But Zach, to hit on the head there, the 48, making moves up to 6th. He's been able to even separate himself from the pack of cars that he was racing earlier. So all he really has is clean track in front of him, past the lap car of the 19, and he's actually gaining just a little bit. He's about a 10th faster than our leaders at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, he has been pretty quick here. Our leader there is getting into some lap traffic, have been Mashburn, but he was again that time about another 10th quicker than our leader. So, yeah, Hill really able to do a great job. But Batty is opening the gap on Ekrolani. Ricole is starting to come into the picture along with Hoggett and Dickerman. So those two are really right into the picture too here for the podium. This has been a really cool long run here to see the fall off in these tires and how these drivers are trying to manage it. Is Batty's really showing the strength that he's got right now as he's out front. And I can tell you, a lot of these guys are liking this green flag run here, liking to see that. But probably the only driver out there that's probably wanting a caution, I'd imagine, is Peyton Hill. Again, another 15.17. So You know, if I was Peyton Hill, I'd have to go check out maybe get me one of them iRace and I flags, maybe to let them know what type of caution or a green flag such is coming. So 64 LEDs, the visual flag system there at iRace and iFlag is the best in the business. You want to make sure you head on over to iRaceandIFlag.com and check out what they have in store for you there. And you can use our promo code also FreakyFast2022 to get that discount there for yourself and let them know that we sent you there. So thank you to iRace and iFlag for being a wonderful sponsor. And we're looking for what type of flags here come throughout this race as we near towards that white and finally that checkered flag.
And as we get closer there, we see the 88 of Hoggett trying to get on the bumper of the 9 for third position. John Piquet in the 5 is in 7th at the moment, and he is in danger of possibly going a lap down here. Not too long with his last couple of times, about 15.6 compared to 15.3s. Considering how short this track is, it's really hard to stay on the lead lap. But right here, the 88 of Hoggett really doing well today. He's been able to stay out of all the incidents that we've had, used cautions to his advantage, and he was able to actually save some tire, it looks like, and he is now on the verge of a possible podium position. So give a shout out to Brad Hoggett and being able to move forward as he has a couple of cars on his tail. We see there the 48 of Peyton Hill behind the 13 of Dickerman. So Peyton Hill making up some great ground right now. Just need to get past these other cars.
Yeah, he is flying right now. Made it to 3.5 seconds. He's made up about a second in the last 15 laps here on our leader. And right now making an easy pass there on Dickerman. Now going to slide himself up into the top 5. Peyton Hill showing he's got some true pace here left in this 48 machine. We'll see what he can do to try to run down our leaders. It's going to be, it's possible if we were to, stay green here, it would be definitely possible for Hill to be able to run him down with the amount of time left. It's just going to be the case. Can he get through this traffic? That's going to be one thing we have to watch out for as we ride on board here with this 13 of Jonathan Dickerman. You can see just Hill really trying to charge there on the late exit and get that tires, his left side tires low. It's a little bit of wider entry and cuts it right there in the middle. You can see how far he drops down. That's where I think his true pace is coming from here in the long run.
And he's doing it so well. He's getting much lower than a lot of these cars we're seeing as this run goes on. A lot of the other drivers having to kind of chase it up the track and really struggles. We see a little bit of a check up there. The 9 of Ronald Cole's really struggling. We see the 48 try to make a great move. Peyton Hill trying to make a move into Brad Hoggett and taking advantage of an incident. There he is, taking the inside, going into turn 3, but he is not going to be able to take that. Brad Hoggett holding that outside line, and he's going to hold that position. The 48 still trying hard as the 88 takes that outside line. Is actually making that outside line work. It's having decent pace. So the 48 not quite making it look not so easy as the 88 defending that position really well, and the 48 just trying to get in the line now and save himself up for another run.
Yeah, and all that time he gained here on our leader of Batty, that's all gone. It's all reversed now. It's actually time lost in the overall scheme for him here as he's having some trouble behind Hoggett here, as Hoggett's really able to work that outer groove there in 1 and 2. He did a great job there to just not even let him get to the inside. Here again, once more, going up to that outer groove. Maybe he looking to try, maybe found something, but that 48 gets close that time here. Looks once again to the inside. These two definitely having a major battle as Cole was trying to hope they continue that to give him some breathing room right ahead of him as Ekralani and Batty have continued to gap this field.
They've continued to gap the field, but right now there's a decent-sized cluster, about 4 or 5 cars all in front of him, lapped cars, but the 48 with the power move around both. I'm sorry, just the 88. Looks like the 88 might have lost a little bit of traction there. Is also going to get passed by the 13. Dickerman just taking and falling in line, but the 48 moving along, already getting to the bumper of the 9 of Ronald Cole, our pole sitter. So I think Ronald Cole is maybe dealing with some maybe early tire fall off, some issues maybe with hitting that wall earlier, but not having this speed we saw earlier from him that earned him that pole. But the 48, after an early incident on the start of the race, really is making a move up into 3rd place. And Jonathan Dickerman's going to pass the 9. It looks like the 88 will as well. The 9 really struggling with the handling on that car the further along this run gets in.
It has been a struggle, man, and that 48 has really been flying. And while that happens, Ronald Cole from the 9, he comes down pit road. So this makes me question: can we make it on fuel? That is going to be, I think, a major one when we come down to the end here. And these late model setups, man, they start with different amounts of fuel. So you're going to have to definitely be knowing how far you can go. And with how the entry of pit road went there for Ronald Cole, I'm not sure if he entered the right pit road. I really don't know. As he had to enter two different entries, as he's just getting service done on his car now, has already gone one lap down.
And this pit road is so confusing. It's really tight, really constricted, and it's just really difficult to navigate. But our leaders are trying to really struggling to navigate through all this lap traffic. The 29 has gotten through the first couple of cars, but he has three more a little bit faster cars in front of him, and they are holding him up by quite a bit, actually, as we see the 9 back there in the background get done with his service. But as we run along, the 29 struggling to get around the 54 Marinelli. As we watch right now, Marinelli taking that outside line, but going to let the 29 go. So that's one more car down, but a couple more cars still in the field of the 29.
And you can see here, looking at the 29, the rotors on that car glowing red as the caution is going to fly here. And man, oh man, yellow flag is out on the speedway. Second caution of the night. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Looking for the incident. Looks like Justin Hamlin is going to be our driver that is involved in that in the 19 machine. And don't see exactly where it came from. We're looking here now at the replay. And it looks like he's just coming off a pit road there because he came off pit road so slow, possibly here not to hit the wall. It possibly threw the flag for that.
Well, that is interesting to say the least. Looks like it's interesting watching the this go around. I don't know. I don't see anyone, but we do have takers on pit road. The 41, the 48, 1388, the 5 are all on pit road at the moment. The 26 is not on pit road of Frank Barbary. He is not on the pit road, and neither is the 29 of Kurt Batty. So already strategy we've seen, even at these short track Zex, we've seen a couple of these races lately come down to fuel strategy. But as we see, the 29 is going to stay out. But as these guys roll around and get piss service, don't forget to head to Advanced Sim Racing. They were founded in 2020, and they are the fastest growing North American racing simulation chassis manufacturer and digital motorsport equipment retailer. Owned and operated by passionate sim racers like you and me, they design and build the sturdiest and most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits available on the market today. Advanced Sim Racing, go check them out. Use the code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, to get 5% off your entire order. Love that they support us and let us come out and do what we love, Zach. But as we watch this, seems like everyone behind our leader did hit pit road. So if you were Kurt Batty, would you be a little worried at the moment?
I'd be very, very worried. Just looking at our fastest laps, it was a 1472 there from Kurt Batty, and last time before the flag flew there was a 1535. So about a half a second to 6/10 of a second fall off. So very, very wild. And as you can see there on the bottom of our screen, you ain't going to want to tune away for nothing as this race is nearing the end, because we're going to have a post-race here live on Freaky Fast Broadcast and talk to our top 3 and discuss our thoughts and feelings up here in the booth with me and Carl Porter. And man, Carl, this is getting double file back up, buddy. Batty on the bottom here with old tires. This is about to be an interesting restart.
Oh, definitely. We're going to go green with 32 laps to go. And Kurt Batty, our leader, is the only car not on new tires at the moment. He has control of the field, and he has a great launch. But that 41 Mario Gerlani is fast, has been fast, just lurking there, saving his car. But look at that. He's going to have that closing speed. He is right there already on the bumper of the 29, and he is just right there heating it up, waiting for him to make a move, make a decision. And 41 not going to give it, just going to let him slide. He's getting impatient with that 13 of Dickerman behind him. Dickerman in third is the highest he's been tonight. He's just kind of silently worked his way as we watch the 41 machine just get his nose. Ooh, the 29 is going to get into the wall on the front stretch, just similar to what we saw Ronald Cole do earlier. So that is going to definitely affect that, and that is going to make the 29 lose one, if not two positions. We see the 48 of Peyton Hill. Early mistake in the race, but now he has recovered into a top 3 position. Dickerman, though, this is a really, really good run for him tonight at South Boston. Because I don't think, ooh, we see the 48 getting a little squirrely, but the Dickerman having a great run. Don't think we talk about him too much here in the top 3.
Yeah, he is having a great run. He's been in the top 5 pretty much all night long. Now he will break up into the top 3. Not only that, but top 2 here and looking strong right on the bottom line, running that line as they took the tires. The driver that's really feeling the wrath of that is still back and forth. Kurt Batty, he's going to have Brad Hoggett there directly behind him with Frank Barber. Is those new tires going to look to try to make something happen? But I'd say Kurt is fired up pretty well on these old tires. He dropped his lap time back down to a 15.018 here, and I think that's just some cooling down on the tires there in that caution. So these tires just brought a little bit of life back for him, but just not enough here to compete with those guys up ahead running 1460s.
Oh, definitely not. And there's, as you see there's been a decent, really sizable gap, about a second and a half there to the third place car of Peyton Hill, and he is just unfortunately bunching up the cars behind him. Brad Hoggett, Frank Barbary, they're all stuck behind him. John Piette, they're really just trying to get around these the 29, slowing them up because he has the older tires. All these cars have newer tires. You see there, 54 of Alex Marinelli trying to make a move on the 5, maybe get a little more momentum. As we see the 26 get on the 88 there too, but these guys just trying to move forward because we know the race is 23 laps to go, 22 as the flag flies at the moment. And there's the 54. He is a lap down, but he has the speed. That just goes to show how much this 29 car is slowing up this pack.
Yeah, it's really stacked this whole field right up as you got that 54 all over the back of the 5, trying to find any way he's looking to the outside here in the center of the corner. Want to have a little contact here. It's going to stack it up. Ben Mashburn has got to check up. That's going to let Ronald Cole there on the outside go to his outside. Cole is 3 laps down, though, having hit pit road, so his lane is going from terrible there with that caution as it was that driver that did get caught under the caution situation under a pit cycle. That just took him out of really any contention here tonight as we are past 20 laps to go here, and it's getting downright wild here as these guys are making contact continuously. The 4 and the 9 behind, the 54 and the 5 up ahead. All 4 of them there. Contact to get on the front straightaway. It sends the 5 up on 2 tires. We're going to stay green here as they continue to race down the back straightaway.
That was a really wild sequence of events. Just the 5 really struggling, bouncing off the outside while bouncing off the inside, while the 19 just trying to stay out of it. But it looks like the 5 is going to make it to pit road without causing too much of an incident. But looking here, oh, back there for the battle for second position, the 48 is going to take second place away from the 13. And we see in that 48 spinning on lap 1, corner 1, making that huge mistake, having to claw his way back, and he is in second. But with only 16 laps to go, Zach, and he is 0.8 of a second behind. Does he have the time to catch that 41 of Ercolani?
And he run down the 41. The 41's been the strongest, most consistent driver, I'd say, throughout the whole entire season, and has brought speed week in and week out. Last time by, it was only about 100th of a second for our second place man here, the 48 of Peyton Hill, as we ride on top of his bullet or his numbers up there on the roof of his car as they head into 1. He's just trying to build that gap up here as he runs a 14.89 to a 15.0 up ahead. He's definitely closing it down so we can visually see the distance is dropping.
And he doesn't have to worry about the 13 of Dickerman behind him. He has another half second back there. And the pack behind him is just completely off pace, almost nearly 5.5 seconds, but that is not well, that's maybe what the 48 wanted to see, as you see the 5 spin around in the outside wall there, bringing the caution out with 12 to go. And as we look at the instant replay here, brought to you by Freaky Fast, the 5 is going to go into the corner and just try and exit. Oh, he tries to hit that curb and exit off. He's kind of looks like he's just driving around doing all right. It's interesting. Oh, there it is. He loses it on that corner entry and just spins it out. Doesn't, oh, maybe tags the wall there just a little bit, but shouldn't be too bad. As we saw earlier, he was one of the cars that was having struggles and got into the wall with the 54 of Marinelli earlier, Zach. So here we go, 11, 10 laps to go. We're going to go green with roughly 9-8 laps. It is going to be on for these drivers at the front of the pack, the 41 and the 48. This is going to be really, really interesting. We see the 88 of Brad Hoggett's going to line up there in the 4th position, and he had decent speed as well. So this is going to be a really, really exciting restart as we get going here. 10 to go at the flag, but as we go and pace along, it's going to get really, really heated up and exciting here at the Maple Ridge Racing Series.
Oh, it's about to get really exciting for sure. Kurt Batty back in 7th. Went in, took tires this time. Didn't take his tires that time before. This is going to be interesting to see here. What can he do with those set of tires? I'm unsure if anybody else. I'm trying to look and see here on my timing. Doesn't look anybody else elected to do that with him. So he's going to have the freshest tires here in the field at 114 compared to Ekerlani Hill up front. They're on 89, lap 89 here. So definitely some difference in the tires there, but we'll see. Is it enough to make a difference, or is it, just not enough time?
And he has 6 cars to pass, so this is going to be a. I mean, he couldn't have gotten any worse than 7th of a bunch of lapped cars here in the field, so it wasn't necessarily a bad move because he wasn't going to go anywhere with old tires anyway. So, as some people say, if you follow the leader, that's all you're going to do is follow the leader. But the lights are out on the pace car, and we are getting ready to grid up side by side. Lights off, so these guys are ready. I see the 48 weaving, trying to get heat in those tires, clean them up a little bit. The 41 is nice and smooth. We're getting ready for this launch here at the South Boston Speedway here in Virtual Virginia, and there it is. Pace car is on pit road, and Ercolani launches off that corner, but spun the tires a little bit. 48 of Hill gets a really good restart as well. Dives down in to close the door on the 13 of Dickerman, and there he is. You see him pushing hard to get to the bumper of the 41 of Ercolani as we exit turn 4. We are caution already. It looks like the 29 of Kurt Batty. That strategy might have backfired on him as he is spun out on the front straightaway. So here we go, Zach. Another restart, another exciting continuation to this race as we see 29 with those fresh tires just wanted to make a move. Brad Hoggett, the 88 right there, just really struggling with the car a little bit. Looks like he's a little bit off the pace, and it's just he gets there behind the 26 of Frank Barbary, gets just below the apron on those cold tires, and with how loose these cars are and how much power, that'll just happen on these cold tires, just pushing a little too hard.
That it will. You took the words out of my mouth, Carl. It's just cold tires there biting them pretty early, and you run that whole race on that one set of tires before. Yeah, you feel like you have that confidence and willingness to push it there, get into the gas. But when you got to build that heat back up, those tires, that very beginning first few laps is always just a little bit more hairy. And unfortunately for Kurt Batty, this is not went too well for him. He'll get another chance here to restart. 7th did get a little bit of damage there, catching that inside wall. But the driver who definitely didn't like to see that was Peyton Hill. He's going to have to restart again here up top and see what he can do. He needs to be able to get to that 41 and make something happen here if he wants to have a chance for this race.
Definitely. The 41 made a small mistake, had a little bit of wheel spin. You can see him fishtail on the start of that lap, and the 48 was able to take advantage and get right on the bumper. Will the 48 be as lucky again as you see them side by side? Here we are 3 to go for the race here. 41 of Ercolani on the inside, 48 of Peyton Hill on the outside, and we are green. And there is the 41 signature launch like a rocket from the inside lane. Oh, the 13 of Dickerman is going to get into the side of the 48, and look, this is going to bring the caution out again here with 3 laps to go. So this will bring about a green-white checkered here, South Boston Speedway. So a lot of green flag runs here, Zach, later on in the race, but here we are. It is go time. And a lot of these drivers fighting for the same position. All take and no give, and these guys know what's on the line.
Oh, they definitely know what's on the line. And what's the interesting thing here? I just want to see, does Kurt Batty hold on to the third position? No, it's going to drop him back here. Sorry, to fifth. So, yeah, if Kurt Batty restarted third there on them fresh tires, it would have been an interesting scenario with Ekralani there, how he was going to deal with that. But man, yeah, I think you're right about it, Carl. The signature restart from Ekralani just launched out like a rocket ship. Nobody has a chance. Peyton Hill tries to go for that bottom lane while the 13 is trying to cover it off and get there also, and it's two drivers going for the same position, and we get that incident.
Definitely get that incident, and that's just a kind of a byproduct of everyone just fighting for the same spot on a short track. And end of the race, typical awesome fireworks filled short track racing, and it's just fun to see these guys really go at it, mix it up. We see the 13 of Dickerman there in second, the 26 of Frank Barbary. We don't talk about them very often, but there they are in the top three. The 48 of Peyton Hill, he did get bumped, but it looks like he's going to lose a couple of those positions due to just when the timing of the caution when that flag flew. So tough break for the 48, who's really marched his way and probably going to say he's passed most cars all night long, but his work is not over as we have 3 to go here. But we see all these drivers getting ready, decent amount of damage there on the rear bumper of the 13. The 41, though, nice and pristine and ready to roll. And these guys are just itching to get the green flag. It's going to be interesting to see Dickerman start and see if he has anything for this 41 with the 48 right behind him. There's going to be a lot of pressure there. But as I am talking, the lights on the pace car have gone out, Zach, and this is going to be really fun. I don't know about you, but me up here in the booth, this is fun and get to watch these races from this perspective. So already the pace car going into 3 short laps to go until the checkered flag is out. There's the pace car. The 41 launches again in first. Green flag is out, and we are racing 13 of Jonathan Dickerman solidly in second with a battle for third behind him.
Yeah, here they go down penultimate time. Let me look it up. Here's a wrecking that back behind Brad Hoggett here. I think we're going to get a yellow flag. Yep, no white flag this time. The yellow's going to fly here. We're going to have another attempt here at a green-white checkered.
And this will be the last attempt. If we have a caution at the end of this, this will be it. So this will be the last caution flag, I guess technically caution laps for the race, because these guys definitely itching to go. And that was another issue where someone spun the tires a little bit, got a little bit loose, and everyone piled into them because everyone just wants to go and get that position. And Dickerman did really well on that restart, held off the 26 for that third and the 48, believe it or not, and let them battle it between themselves, and he was able to dive down behind Ercolani. So Dickerman doing all that he needs to do to keep that podium position.
Yeah, doing a great job of it for sure. And Frank there in that third spot, going to be fighting for everything he's got, maybe possibly for second even here coming down to the end. So we'll see. This is going to be the last attempt at one. This is going to be these guys' only last chance here to get what position they can. Ekralani, though, he tried to go for 3 in a row. I mean, that would be quite the story there for him. He's been on a tear this season and just has started really converting those good runs up front into wins. That's what we were expecting, because he was running up front constantly, wasn't getting the wins. Now the wins are starting to pile in, and that's what you expect when you run up front consistently.
And definitely, and it's fun to see how he won tonight. The last couple runs, last couple wins, he was really dominant, really showed his pace, really showed his speed, and just took away almost all possibility of anyone else winning. But tonight he had to claw and fight. Didn't maybe have the fastest car early on in the race today, but he has been fastest as of late and is fastest now, being in first position with control of the field. But the pace car lights are out. He's going to make that sharp left turn onto pit road, and there is the launch from the 41. Dickerman behind him, getting in, checking in, single file. Ooh, 48's going to go into the outside wall, coming out of turn 2, but into 3. This is coming onto the freaky fast white flag being flown in the air. Here we are, and caution is out. Looks like the 29 Kurt Matty, and that's going to finish the race. No more green, white checker. The 41 Ercolani is going to win this race under caution.
Yeah, here's they pace through 3 and 4. This is going to be the finish to your race here. It's going to be Ekerlani up there, like you said, Carl, getting that third win. Dickerman going to bring it home second, and Frank Barbier going to bring home third. There with Melinarelli getting all the way up to fourth, with Mashburn coming up fifth with some great runs for those two near the closing laps of this race. Peyton Hill going to unfortunately finish back in sixth. Got to definitely be unfortunate for him there. Had such a good run going, bouncing back from the early incident, but man, oh man, what a wild ending there. And that just shows you when you get the field stacked up under caution here in a short track race, it's constant action, and it's hard to get some green flag finishes. But man, here, Eckerline is going to bring it up to the start finish line. He should be looking to celebrate here for another victory once more.
And that'll be 3 in a row for our 41 of Mario Ercolani. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back with our post-race interview, and we will get to talk to Ercolani, talk to Jonathan Dickerman, and Frank Barbary, whose probably season best finishes so far, but don't go anywhere if you want to see him, because we will be right back. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to South Boston Speedway for the Maple Ridge Racing Series. You just watched 125 plus laps with a couple of green, white, checkered finishes. But right now, the moment you've all been waiting for, we're going to talk to the third place finisher, the number 26, Frank Barbary. Frank, good to talk to you. Good run tonight. Tell us how that went, and you were just able to capitalize on some mistakes that some of the drivers made as the run went on.
I just kind of hung in there and just kept watching what was going in front of me and got lucky, I guess. I mean, it's the first time I've ever got a podium finish. So,
Well, Frank, I tell you, man, congrats. It's Zach up here also in the booth. Congrats on getting the third here tonight, man. South Boston, that was a heck of a run there for you. And, starting back in the 10th position, you definitely had to work your way forward and stay out of the trouble here tonight. This track even looked a little bit treacherous there on cold tires tonight. How was that navigating these restarts? Because it seems like that's where guys really had their mistakes.
I only had a cold tire problem at the beginning of the race when I came in and pitted and it only took 2 tires. I didn't have any problem at all. But the whole middle of the race, it was just pretty much ride. And then you had people were slowing down because of the tires. And I just kind of kept the pace. So I think it made a difference.
Well, that's a great strategy and it worked out for you. But are you gonna be able to do the same thing at Dover next week?
I don't know. I'd like to have another good finish.
Well, definitely. And Frank, if it sounds like we're gonna say your name a bit more. So before we get it wrong any further, can you pronounce your last name for us real quick?
Barbary.
Barbary. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the driver of the 26 machine, Frank Barbary. Frank, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
No, I don't have any sponsors on the car, so just myself.
Well, go ahead and thank yourself, sir. Congratulations on the third place finish.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
And again, that was the 26th Frank Barbary. Up next, right now, we have Jonathan Dickerman, driver of the 13. Jonathan, great run tonight. You were able to find yourself in a great position, second place for those last couple of restarts, and able to hold everyone off. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I finally get to talk to you guys. This is awesome. Um, yeah, the first run, it looked like we were gonna, or the second run, I guess, after the second caution, or the first caution, it looked like we were gonna go green the whole way. Things were really spread out, so I was just trying to save my tires and have a decent position. I saw Peyton coming. I just kind of let him go, hoping that he would, pass the cars in front of us, and I'd follow him through, which worked out. And the caution came out. I just took two right side tires because I really needed that car to be freed up. The setup was a little on the snug side, but it was good. I think I overused the right front tire. Not sure I had anything from Mario, anyways, but definitely abused the right front tire on that last run there.
I tell you what, it was a great run, Jonathan, man. Zach up here in the booth also, man. So congrats on second. Get up here in the podium, man. This is some great momentum for you heading off into Dover next week. Definitely, one of them, definitely more off the wall tracks from these short tracks, smaller short tracks we've been going to. A little bit bigger place, more banking, more speed. How you feel about heading off into Dover?
Oh, I've never run there before. I don't even know what to think. I typically like the short tracks better, but I'm always down for something different. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, I can tell you we're going to be excited for it, though. Jonathan, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just my wife for taking the kid duty tonight and let me come down here and race.
Well, great job, Jonathan Dickerman. Congratulations on your second place. You have a good night.
Awesome, thank you guys.
Again, that was Jonathan Dickerman, second place, car number 13. But here we are, the winner of tonight's race, Mario Ercolani. Mario, congratulations on your third win in a row with that 41 car. Take us through that. You didn't seem to have quite the speed early on in the race. You had a rough qualifying session, but made it to the front and stayed there.
Yeah, I missed you a little bit, and during that long run, I feel like I burnt my tires up a little bit. Kurt was rolling if that had gone green, I think he'd have had it.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race there, Mario. We seen a few guys, even Ronald Cole there, have to hit pit road, and he got caught there under the sequence there at that yellow that happened. Would you guys had to hit pit road there, or were y'all able to make it all the way to the end from there?
Oh, we could have made it on fuel and tires, but when I seen Kurt not coming in, I'm like, this is going to be my chance to get some tires and be much fresher than him. And on the restart, it showed how much the tires played into that.
Yeah, we definitely saw you were into that bumper early and getting really applying the pressure. But next week is Dover concrete track, a little bit bigger than what you guys are used to running on. What are your expectations there?
Never really run a super at Dover. It could be very interesting. It's a lot of speed there. There's a lot of room too, but getting off the corner there, I run some NASCAR races. It can be very tricky. So it'll be fun. It'll be very fast paced and should be interesting for sure.
Well, every week with you guys is extremely interesting. Before we let you go, though, Mario, anyone want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, you guys, as always, from Freaky Fast, man. I've rewatched the broadcasts, and you guys do a great job. Alex and Maple Ridge, love being here. Great bunch of guys showed tonight how well they run on a short track, and of course, always Elite Performance Industries.
Well, we thank you for coming out and definitely showing us and giving us a good time, Mario. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
And that was the 41 of Mario Ercolani, the winner here, Maple Ridge Racing Series at South Boston. Zach, we had a lot of fun tonight, but I'm also looking forward to next week. A lot of the guys we talked to say they hadn't run here, but as we pull up the grid, the first place, Mario Ercolani, Jonathan Dickerman, Frank Barbary, the 26th, starting 10th for having a great run, finishing in the podium. Alex Marinelli finishing in 4th. Ben Mashburn in 5th. Peyton Hill in the 48 and 6th. Brad Hoggart in 7th. 8th, Kurt Beatty, after having a really good run in the middle of that race. Johnny Hurst in 9th. And wrapping out your top 10 is John Piet.
Yeah, definitely a wild race here, Carl, with looking at some of those guys. You got to look back to Ron Cole there, who was in 12th. He had a tough night there, starting on pole, leading all those laps to start off the race. Caution comes out, loses that big lead he has, and just from there, the tires really started to go away from him. So, tough break for a few of these guys, but Ercolani continues the wave of momentum, and I think Dover next week's going to be a definite a shakeup of things. I don't really know what to expect going in there. That is not a short track. That is very much a high speed, high banked raceway, and we're going to see how these super late models can get around there. I'm very, very interested. I have no clue how these things will drive around it.
And it sounds like a lot of the drivers don't either. It sounds like a wild card, almost like a super speedway race you see in your normal NASCAR series. Just one of those one-off tracks that you're just gonna go 100% and just hope you get out on the other end. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tune in to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We have stuff starting to go on nearly every night of the week. As you see the ticker there below you, the 802 Cup Series, the WSSR on Saturday. So don't you forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I know some drivers and some of you guys out there dealing with some weather. I hope you all stay safe from me and from all of us at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Keep your loved ones close and stay safe. But until then, and until next time, keep it freaky fast.